Typically when a former first-round draft choice makes his Double-A debut, it comes with a great deal of hype and anticipation as he's only 2 steps away from the major leagues. With the Phillies' 2008 first-round pick, Anthony Hewitt, that hasn't been the case this year in his first taste of Double-A in baseball town. But if you ask Anthony, that suits him just fine. Mike Drago with the Reading Eagle wrote a piece on you at the end of June, and there was one line that really stood out. He said that Anthony approaches his craft with a quiet dignity. What does that mean to you?
It means that, to me, I've been humbled so much in this game, and when you start to become a little bigger than the game, you get humbled quickly. So I just try to go out there and work really hard on my game and my craft and play my game the hardest way I know how and the best way I know how without really showboating anybody or just saying too much or just making too many expectations for myself.
Do you like that phrase, quiet dignity?
Yeah, it's perfect. It fits me.
Didn't get your first home run until May 22nd, but it was certainly one to remember. A walk-off 3-run shot against Altoona. How special was that moment for you?
It was a really special moment for me. First home run of the season and a home run to walk off my team for the win. And after that home run, it's like a monkey got off my chest. And I said, after that one, they all come in bunches after that. So it was a good feeling.
That's certainly been the case. Since that walk-off home run, you've hit 10 more. Do you think that there was anything that changed about you and your approach, or was it just staying consistent and ultimately that led to the power surge?
Staying consistent, not really worrying or thinking about any home runs. They all come in bunches. I mean, once you get that first home run, you get a feel for what it feels like in your hands and what pitches you can and can't hit over the fences and whatnot. And that's all I needed was that one.
Hitting coach Frank Cacciatore, and when referring to you from day one, has always said it's a process, and you guys have been going through the process, and he's been very complimentary of you buying into the process. First and foremost, what does it mean when you guys talk about the process? The process,
our process we're working on is, picking out a location and staying with that location. Like say, if I'm sitting middle away, fastball, I'm just committed to that pitch, that whole at bat, and 9 times out of 10, you will get that pitch. It's kind of weird that way. You might get a strike inside, you might get a curveball for a strike, you might be down in the count 0-2, but never really panic because the pitcher will make a mistake. Even if it's not away, it might be middle. It might be a pitch in that area where you can drive, but it's middle away. It might be up, it might be low. Just stick with that approach and it'll work most of the time. And if it doesn't work, no big deal. Don't really worry about it. The next at bat, the pitcher will come in that zone. And it's only one at bat. You really didn't waste it. You set yourself up in a good way because the pitcher's now worrying, thinking about, well, where is he sitting? Is he probably not ready to hit? He's probably just up there just standing around, and he'll probably just leave one over the plate for you, and you'll get what you wanted.
Where would you say that you're at in your process right now?
Process? I'm almost there. I would say that. I would say I'm almost there. Some days are better than others with the process. It's just a little more discipline I have to instill in myself, and still go in the cage and work on the drills that we're doing, and soon the process will be fully complete.
Is that the next step, just a little bit better plate discipline?
Yeah, that's all it's ever been for me, plate discipline. You're always going to have your bad days in baseball, and it's kind of really important to forget about those really quickly so you can go into the next day and go ahead and produce and play the game you know how to play.
Strikeout numbers are down this year. The walk totals are up this year for you. Is that discipline at the plate a big reason why you think?
That's a little more discipline, but that also has to do with location. Going up to the plate and looking for a pitch you want to hit and staying with that plan. Because usually if the pitcher doesn't hit his spots or doesn't go in that location, he'll probably walk you. Because once you get 0-2 or something, he's going to throw a lot of pitches out of the zone. Hopefully you chase. And if you're really disciplined on that pitch, you won't chase anything.
Spent your off seasons in Florida, and this past off season you got a chance to work a lot with Dominic Brown. What was one of the things that really stood out to you working with him? Working
with him, he's one of the hardest working guys besides myself you ever meet. His confidence is always really high. It's a pleasure to work with him because he is an older guy, and he looks down at me, and he sees the potential, and he's always pushing me to work harder, invite me to go places to work out with him, and you can just see the desire in him to want to succeed. Yeah, he struggled before, and we've all been there, but he bounced back really nice, and I'm really happy to see that for him.
I was going to ask you, how happy are you to see him and his success this year in Philadelphia?
Hard work pays off. It's right there for you.
Even though you spent your off seasons in Florida, you're originally from Brooklyn. What was it like growing up as a kid in the city?
Oh man, it was a blast. There's always something to do. A lot of people, a lot of different people. Always, you know, something to look at, interesting. But I mean, I miss it a lot. There's no place like home. You know, being away from home and my family is tough. But I always go back, and I always get on that train and go for a ride somewhere. It's a wonderful place.
Favorite place to go in the city?
Favorite place to go? Man, being from the city, I still like to go to 34th Street, 42nd Street, walk around, just be engulfed in the crowd, get some good food. There's a place on 34th Street across the street from Madison Square Garden. A nice gyro spot. Oh man, that's unbelievable. Every time I go home, I get a gyro.
Phillies took you out of high school, but you had the opportunity to go to Vanderbilt. You originally committed to go play baseball there, but in addition to playing baseball, you'd said that you were excited about their computer engineering program. What was it about that was so exciting for you?
Growing up as a kid, I was always tinkering with something, taking apart things. If something broke in the house, my family would give it to me first, and I would fix it. And you know, my sister had her stereo that broke, and I asked her what was wrong with it. The CDs wouldn't change. So I said, give it to me. I'm pretty sure I can figure out something was. I took it apart, and I found out that one of the gears was stripped. So I brought another gear for about 50 cents, fixed it up, and I kept the nice CD player. And she wanted it back eventually because that was the first, and it worked better than a new one. But that was my niche. I would build remote control cars out of bobby pins and clothes hangers and stuff. And it was something where, you know, in my career, you know, if I was to go to Vanderbilt and take that computer engineering, I would want to build a robot or something unique that can change the world.
Is there any similarities that you find between that mindset of taking apart something and tinkering with it in baseball and especially hitting?
Being totally engulfed in what you're doing. In order to really be good at anything or understand mechanics or you know, or microchip of some sort, you got to really be focused on every little aspect of whatever it is that's going on in that time of moment. And with baseball, me playing right field, I have to be totally engulfed on the baseball out of the pitcher's hand into the zone, you know, the hitter's zone, so I can see every little detail, if he's late, if he's going to come my way, what he's trying to do with the bat, and that really helps a lot. You know, if I'm just out there just daydreaming and just looking at the ball vaguely, I don't really, you know, take right field. I don't really try to do all the little things to make right field, my game in right field, the best I possibly can. Even with hitting, you want to see the ball at the pitcher's hand, you want to see every little detail to give you that much of an edge to be that much better, and that always helps.
Before I let you go, I wanted to know, what's the biggest difference between you now and you maybe 3 years earlier in your career?
I would have to say my mental game, a little more passion. I've been humbled a lot. And a part of me is just really want to have fun. It's a game, it's quote unquote a business at the end of the day, but I try not to pay attention to the business side of it. I try to go out there and have fun and just enjoy the days that I have with a uniform on, because any given time moment, a uniform can be taken away from you. And once you realize that, you play the game a totally different way.
Anthony Hewitt's had a lot of fun this year in Reading, and he's on pace to have one of the best seasons of his career. If he keeps this up, he may not be able to fly under the radar too much longer. But rest assured, Anthony will continue to go about his work with a quiet dignity. Thanks for checking us out here on Behind the Pinstripes. Until next time, so long.